Hello everybody, Dave here for a different David Littlewood. My folks have gone away for a week, or at least my mum has. My dad's away for a few days, coming back and then going away again. So I'm basically up with my parents for a week. So what I've decided to do is, as the dogs are wondering who the fuck I'm talking to, what I've decided to do is sort out their kitchen table while they're away, which means I've got, what is it now, it's Thursday now, I think I've only got about 5 days, if that. I think they're back on Wednesday, so 6 days, but I'm already fucked. I overdid myself yesterday, but I do want to get this, I'd like to get this kitchen table done for them before they come back. And looking at the steps that I need to go through, it should be doable if I'm able to stick to my target, but it all depends on a few things, because this is a heavy fucking table. I can't move it, so I'm having to wait for assistants to come to help me move the table into the workshop, because there's no way I'm doing it in the kitchen. I'm going to be using chemicals to remove the top, the finish that's on the top, and then sanding. And doing that inside, not a good idea anyway. Doing it inside when there's dogs, definitely not a good idea. But anyway, let's have a look at this table. So as you can see, it's got quite a nice shine, but actually it's not a nice shine. The table is in bad condition, as you can see there. As I've mentioned before, my mum had put the wrong type of stuff on the top here. It's actually quite tacky, even though it's been on there a long time. So yeah, but it's been coming off in places, and it's not nice, to be honest. And to be fair, this is actually a really nice table. If I remember rightly, it is solid oak. So this is what I'm hoping to sort out. And as I mentioned, I'm basically going to be using some stripper to take the layers off, and then I need to clean it, neutralise it. Waving my hand like that will do it. Neutralise it, then treat it with oil, then wax it, then polish the wax, then get it brought back over to the house. So not that easy to do. Now I'm not going to do the legs. I might wax the legs, but other than that I'm not going to do anything else. On the base, I did wonder about trying to take the top off, but I've got a feeling it's going to be more hassle than help. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't look too bad other than the bits missing there. I can tell you it does look worse in person. It definitely does, but when I've finished, it should look fucking beautiful. Hello everybody, Dave here. I am here. Hello. Oh, shouldn't bend down like that. Right. As you can tell, with assistance, I was able to get the kitchen table into my workshop, but I'm limited on space. But at least I can get this started. And to be honest, all going well, it shouldn't take too long. It's going to take a couple of days because I've got to let stuff dry, but it shouldn't take too long. And I'm only really going to focus on the top, and the reason for that is the legs and the sides, I'm not going to bother sanding them down. I might wax them up, but they can be done in the house. Now in front of me I have got all of the stuff that I'm going to need to do this, and when you look at it, it's quite a lot of stuff. So I'm going to quickly take you through it. Okay, excuse me. I've got furniture stripper, which will be applied initially with a paintbrush, and then with the steel wool, a coarse grade steel wool, I will scrub the surface off. Now, from the research I've been doing, normally 3 coats or 3 strips is what you should do, but I don't think this is a very thick layer, so we'll see. I'm thinking it's probably going to be 2. If it has to be 3, it has to be 3. So I'm going to apply that with a brush, take all the shit off with a steel wool, but I've got to be very careful, it's toxic, which is why I've got the rubber gloves. I also have to be careful that I don't splash that, because obviously I've got my drawers around and the unit is behind us. So once the stripping has been done and it's back to bare wood, I'm then going to need to give it a light sanding, which I'll do with the orbital sander. Give me a good opportunity to test that out. It's not going to need a lot of sanding, or at least it shouldn't do. Once it's been sanded, it needs to be neutralised, which is what the methylated spirit's for, or the white spirits. Basically, the stripper, obviously it can affect the wood, it's there to strip the wood. Well, the white spirits is there to neutralise it, so that we can then apply a finish to it. Once that has been neutralised, and that can be applied with a simple sponge, so once it's been neutralised, I can then, once it's obviously dry, give it another light sanding. I think, no, I don't need to give it another sanding after that. I can then apply this, which is, it's called Danish oil, but it's clear oil. And the reason for this is to seal the wood. So we strip it, we neutralise it, we seal it, and then the thing is though, once this has been applied, that's going to need to be left sort of overnight. That's going to need to be left for a while. So once that has been applied, left and dried, then we come on to this, the beeswax, which I've never used before, but I've done quite a bit of research on how to use it, and that's going to be applied using an ultra fine steel wool, which apparently feels like cotton wool. So that'll be applied quite generously, and then all that will be left is to buff it up, which again I'll probably use the orbital sander for, given the size of the table. Now, like I say, I have been doing my research to be able to get ready to do this. However, is things going to go how I expect? I've no idea. There's only one way to find out, and that is to crack on. I apologise as well if it keeps going out of focus. Obviously there's a lot of stuff to and from the camera. Now I am going to try and record a few bits of this, but I might be limited on memory space, but we'll see how we get on. My aim for today though is, well, my main aim is just to try and get as many strips as I need to get this top clear, because interestingly, when my brother came up to move the table yesterday, even he mentioned about how it always seems to be tacky. So it is very odd. But the thing is, it is a beautiful table, and hopefully when I finish with it, it'll be beautiful again, but we'll find out, won't we? Right, I'm going to pack all this stuff away and get myself ready for doing some stripping. And just a reminder as well, never leave this stuff anywhere near your water bottles, because the last thing you want to do is accidentally drink this shit. Right, back on soon. Okay, so I'm goggled up. It took me a while to actually just get into the tinner stripper, but what you're supposed to do is actually pour it into a jar and then pour it from the jar to the table, but I don't have a glass jar, so I'm just going to pour it straight onto the table and then just spread it about with a brush. Using the brush isn't to paint it on, it's just to spread it about, but according to the instructions I'm going to have to leave it for half an hour to really work on the finish, before I can try taking it off. But let's see how we get on with this anyway. Now, like I said, I am going to be fairly liberal with it. A bit difficult for me to see because my safety glasses keep steaming up. Also, it's clear, so I can't fucking see it. Oh, she stinks. So I could definitely have done with it being something I could see. Now it smells a little bit like nail varnish remover, and if you're wondering how I know what that smells like, I've got a mother, you know. I think one of the things that I'm going to try and do is perhaps sort of work a plank at a time. If I can. I mean, what I don't want to do, like I said, is splash any of this about. It's definitely not easy to see it, that's for sure. Oh, also this is not going to do my back any good. I probably shouldn't rest on the table. Now I don't have to go with the grain when applying this stuff, which is why I'm trying a couple of different techniques of brush stroke, because this is just about getting it spread about. Ugh. Now I might be being too sparing with the stripper. I mean, on the videos that I've seen, they've applied a lot more than I have, but I've only got the one tin and I don't know what I'm doing, or should I say I'm learning as to what I'm doing. Now, it is advisable to do this outside, although the weather here is really bad, so that is not an option. If you are going to do it inside, make sure the room you're in is extremely well ventilated. I just realised I'm holding the tin right under my face. Yeah, so do it in a well ventilated area. Goggles back on. Oh. I'm looking at it thinking I'm pretty sure I should have more on there. But we'll see how it goes. If I have to apply it a few times, then I have to apply it a few times. Oh, getting old. I thought I'd probably be able to see it sort of peeling up already, but not quite. Getting a bit too old to be bending down like this. Now obviously excuse me, just shit myself. Because obviously I'm going to need to let this settle for a while. I need to stop holding the tin right under my face. Now obviously I have sort of gone on to applying quite a bit now, but that's in the hope that it's not too much. What's a bit of all of the processes I've got with this table, what I'm going to have with this table, this is the part I'm most unsure about. Right, I'm going to leave that for half an hour and we'll see how it is. Hello. Hello. I'm Batman. I'm not really. Okay, so it's been about half an hour and I'm about to use my steel wool and my safety glasses. They're so safe, they're making it so I can't fucking see. Anyway, right, looking at the table, I don't think I applied enough stripper on it, so I'm gonna have to try and clean up my glasses. Yeah, I don't think I put enough stripper on it, but I'm going to see what happens when I put the wire wool on, and then what I might do is actually start applying some stripper with the wire wool. So I can't see. Okay, it's starting. Yeah, it's bringing up some stuff. Definitely is. But I think it'd be fair to say that I didn't put enough on, and I'm going to need to do more. I can tell where I put a lot on, like here. That's just coming up so easy. But over here, not so much. So I am going to have to do a couple more coats. Now this is the coarse steel wool, which is for bringing up the layers, yeah, see it's not touching this here, so I've not put anywhere near enough on there. Oh. Now, when I said I've been doing a bit of research, what I've been doing is I actually found a guy's YouTube channel, and he owns his own workshop and actually produces products, which I must admit I would have ordered, but they're fucking expensive. Called Gilbert's on YouTube, and they do a lot of instructional videos. And that's where I got the instructions for doing this, but obviously I'm not using their products, but I am going on his instructions, but also the instructions from the products that I'm using. So it's kind of like, these goggles are shit. They're just fucking steaming up all the time. It's kind of like using his techniques. With the cheaper products that I've had to get. I mean, it's like little things, like one of the things he said about the reason to, once you've stripped everything back, one reason to neutralise the wood, one reason to sand the wood before you neutralise it is because if there's any steel wool left on the wood when you apply the white spirits, you can have a reaction, and that's not very good. I think with the next layer I am going to apply considerably more, because I can definitely tell where I have applied enough and where I haven't. I mean, I still really don't know exactly what stuff it was that my mum put on this table. I don't know if it was, I don't think it was a varnish. I don't think a varnish would have gone as, I reckon she might have put an oil or a wax. I have to cut myself off for another piece of steel wool. Oh. Must admit, it's not easy doing things with these rubber gloves on. Excuse my guts. I mean, what we'll say is where it is coming off quite easily, table underneath looking quite nice. Again, here's it's not. I've not put anywhere near enough on. I mean, at least this isn't the most physically demanding of tasks, although I am struggling big time because of my illness. As you may have heard on the previous video clip, my breathing is not sounding too good. But as first attempts go at stripping wood, I've learned something. Don't be so cheap with it. Get it on there. Interesting, it's coming off quite nicely on the sides. Now, even if I'd have put loads on, I could see why it's recommended to do 2 or 3. I mean, I'm definitely going to need to do at least 3 looking at it. So I'm just going to have to hope that I've got enough steel wool. I should have. I mean, I shouldn't need too much of the fine steel wool, but we'll see. Now, admittedly, my parents do not know that I'm doing this. What day is it today? It's Friday today. My dad is due back tomorrow for a few days, but he won't mind because he never uses the fucking table anyway. Yeah, he and Tommy uses his kitchen table is to plop stuff on it or at Christmas. But they're of a different generation. Okay, I need to do this side. And what I might have to do as well is get the vac, or I could just not bother because it's all going to get stripped off anyway. It's one of those situations where even if I'd have applied plenty to begin with, one of those situations where it's going to have to look worse before it looks better. Right, I think I need to get applying more. Please, sir, can I have some more? Right, so this time will be a little less cheap, I think. Let's get it on there. I'm going to try and not spread it too thin, because obviously I want it to cover what it is I'm doing. It's possible that that's what I've done. I just spread it too thin. Don't hold the tin under your face, Dave. From what I remember, actually, the guy from Guildwood, he did say that we're not painting this on, we're just spreading it about. So I'm going to leave it quite gloopy. Just need to make sure that the whole table's covered. I can definitely feel that my can is getting a little lighter. So I'm going to have to be... yes, I need to get it on there, but I also need to make sure I don't run out. Right, once I've applied this then, this is going to need to be left for another, what, 15, 20 minutes. Now obviously you probably can tell I've definitely been a lot more generous with it on this occasion. And I'm definitely getting low on it now as well. Oh, okay, my back's fucked. Just want to pop a little more on there because literally nothing came off this bit before. Okay. Right, I am going to leave that for a good 15 minutes, half an hour, and we'll come back to it. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes, and as you might be able to tell, you can still see bits of the stripper on the table, which to me is a good sign. Anyway, let's see how we get on this time, shall we? Okay, right, it's definitely doing a lot more this time. Look at all that. Might not be able to see it too well, but it's good fucking disgusting, man. Yeah. I can see I am quite possibly, definitely, going to run out of steel wool. Oh. It's definitely coming off. I just think it's going to take another coating. Although there is something else I could try, but it's in my toolbox. I could get a scraper and try that, but I'd rather not scrape in case I dig into the wood. As you might be able to tell outside, it's not fucking pissing it down again. I did think it'd come off a lot easier than it is doing. I mean, one of the things that I could do as well, if I do run out of stripper and wire wool, is I could just neutralise the wood and then give it a good sanding. It's just I decided with this that I would try and do it as properly as possible. It's all part of my learning about correct techniques. Like, for example, with a wax, I never would have known about applying the wax using the wool. But we'll get to that. I'm going to have to get me next. Oh, I mean, it's definitely pulled plenty up, but it's, I mean, that's one piece that took up all that wool, but to be fair, it didn't, that first coating didn't touch this edge, so it's no real surprise that it's there was a lot coming off there. Must be, even I can tell on the camera it's looking a lot better already, isn't it? Oh. It's definitely going to need another treatment. Really do leaning on the table, but it's covered in stuff, and then I'm getting it on my hands. Now really with this wire wool, it shouldn't matter which way I scrub it, although I would prefer to go with the grain. I know I don't usually on my videos show too much of the working that I'm doing, but I figured with this one I'd try something different, with it hopefully being a quicker project. Okay, some of you might think, why are you doing this when you could have got your unit finished? Well, yeah, I could have done, but to be honest, I don't think I'm going to get the opportunity before Christmas again where the table is not needed. And also, hopefully, once this is done, the wax on it should last years. Although it may benefit from having another coat put on every year, but that'll be fine. That's why it's worth doing all of the correct preparation now, because once this is done, this should not need doing again. It would just be a case of, I don't know, perhaps give the top a light sand and then polish it up again. Let me grab one of those other bits of wool, see if I can get a bit more life out of these. Yeah, I should be able to. It's definitely made a big difference to applying a lot more like I did. I won't be surprised if my dad has got more steel wool here. I might have a look while I'm waiting for the next coat to dry. Well, not dry, but the next coat to work. But we're looking at how easily it is coming off. Worst case scenario, like I say, I might be able to find some kind of plastic scraper or something plastic that I can use as a scraper. I mean, I'd already clocked my windscreen scraper in the car and thought, bet that'd work. Okay, I don't think I've put enough on this bit. It's not coming off anywhere near as well as the rest of it. Either that or I left it a little too long. Something I might try, actually. Not got a lot left. But let me try this. That's not working as well. Okay. Let's give edges another going over. Fingers are hurting now. And I could just go ahead and sand this, but I would prefer to give it every, that's that piece of wool gone, every opportunity to strip it all off properly. Now, if I do run out, if I do run out of the furniture stripper, I have got a bit of the same stuff, but it's for wax. I think what I'll do is I'll give it one more brushing with a stripper, and then if that hasn't got everything off, I think I'll go for a little bit of a sanding. But I reckon the next one will finish it off lovely. I need more on this bit. The trousers are falling down, but I don't really want to touch them because of what's on here. Right, let's take these off for a second. Right. Okay, let's go for applying another brush coat, but mainly focusing on the specific areas that need it. Now it's possible my camera could run out of storage at any moment. Hopefully I'm going to be able to transfer it over at the house. Hopefully this will really sort this out now. Bit much on there. Now, interestingly, one of the reasons I'm interested in doing this right now as well is that this will effectively be the same process that I'll use on my round table. Okay, so there's a bit of a star there. Don't know why. It may end up having to just be a feature on the table. Right, I need to give this. Have you heard my breathing? It's like I'm snoring while I'm awake. I need to give this a bit of time now. So, I'll give this about 20 minutes. And then hopefully, it'll be stripped. Like I say, emphasis on hopefully. Oh.